everybody. Haven't done a lot in a while. I'd throw one out there. See if anybody appears. Hey, got a thumbs up. Hello, planting corn. Hope everybody's doing good tonight. Kind of shooting into the sun at this direction, but somewhere. Damn, 12 people watching us. Doing a little impromptu live. Haven't done one in quite a while. Probably since corn planting last year. I've got a pretty decent signal in the field I'm in, so hey, let's do one. This is this field was my home for wayward woodchucks. There are a ton of holes in it with soybeans last year. Hey, Scruffy. Yes, I started on Monday, the 10th, and usually I'm finishing up around the 10th, so good to be going at it. I'm a little past the halfway point now. Hey, William. You guys will love my camera holder. It's the phone, but it's just some electrical tape. I taped it to the rear view mirror. There's not a lot of metal in here to mount my magnet to. All the plastic and everything on this 6125. There, we'll get in the shade here. Maybe some stuff will appear behind me there. Yeah, planting's going really good. I just got back from my first breakdown, which was just one of the opener discs had a bearing go bad. Had bearings on hand, just run up, give me a chance to top up my fuel and fertilizer. And just getting back at it now, grabbing a quick bite to eat. But we've been cold and wet all spring, like so many. This week's been warm and dry, and boy, soil conditions are really good right now. This sandy field here is actually getting a little dusty and dry in spots. Oops, wrong marker. Anybody got any questions, feel free to comment. I'll try to keep an eye on it while I'm doing everything else. Can't run the auto steer because I don't have it. Yeah, years like this, I'm glad I have the sandy ground. I'm able to get started on things. Some of my wetter ground should be starting to get dry enough to actually do something with. They're talking a chance of thunderstorms tomorrow, but only like 1/10 of an inch of actual rainfall. So they must be they're gonna move through pretty quick. Anybody watching from Minnesota that got hit by the derecho last night? I saw where the millennial farmer was posting some pictures this morning. It looks like they got hit really hard, but unfortunately said no one was hurt, so that's good. I'm glad to hear that. Oh hey, no water steer, eh? Ross, you're in Minnesota, aren't you? I was thinking. Dax, Minneapolis, only got a few dents. Yeah, I saw where the roof fell on that. That one probably hurt me the worst. Although seeing that bin crumple down. Yeah, I've got lights too. I'll probably be using them before this is over. I got a variety I'm trying to get run out. And then I can reload with the next variety for... Man, that sun's bright. Worst thing was their corn planter got I hadn't seen about the planter. Just before I started this live, I see where he's uploaded a video, but obviously I haven't watched it yet. Saw it was up. Yeah, that's pretty bad. The guy that hauls my corn, he ordered a planter last year, and it just finally showed up. They were wanting to take his used one. Hey, John, if you're watching. And hopefully he's got something working. Oh, those kind of lights. No, I don't even have that. I got LED lights, you know, when it gets dark out. Should be able to see in a moment here. I guess I should have grabbed some sunglasses. That's no hat, no sunglasses. What kind of YouTuber am I? What kind of YouTubing farmer? Switch the camera button. Oh yeah, look at that sunset. My windows are a little dirty. Power wash the tractor before planting, but it was always cold and nasty out. Thankful that you use older equipment like you do. Love seeing the older partner working in the field. It's awesome. Thank you. You know, this tractor, the 6125, is a 1997 model. I still call it the new tractor because it's the newest one on the farm. Swing my mirror to get a little bit of a different angle. I am no-tilling into soybean stubble. Don't have much for weeds. I don't know what these little ones are called, but they're already as big as they're going to get. They're pretty easy to kill. Howdy, Chris. Cultivating. Pioneer Gold. I am growing M&W seed. It's a Michigan-based company. I'm not sure what the M&W stand for, but I used to grow Pioneer, and I had a Pioneer test plot last year, and it's always been good corn. My salesman, who's always done a good job for me, he switched to M&W, and I tried it out, and I've been really happy with it. There was one Pioneer variety that really stood out last year, but it was a very long maturing variety, 108 days. That's long for us. The rest were pretty much on par with the M&W, so there's definitely a price difference. Yeah, it's, you know, you get a good relationship established with someone, they take good care of you, and, you know, you get in a bind, and they're going to go out of their way to help you, whereas, you know, someone that just trying to drum up more business or whatever, you know, you're just another number to them. So, yeah, loyalty is important. I guess that should be obvious from the guy that's still farming with old Oliver tractors and white tractors. And I mean, loyalty will also only get you so far. You still got to earn that loyalty, but I'm fortunate that I've got several of the things I have done. My grain hauling. John does an awesome job for me. Seed salesman does a great job for me. My guys that spread my fertilizer and do my spraying. Makes it a lot easier for me to be the one-man show that I am. I mean, technically I'm not. I hire some of this stuff done, but your buzzer goes off looking for what's going on in my yeah, I remember watching someone else's video one time when I was out working, and their buzzer would go off, and I'm like, oh, what's wrong? We have planned. Quite catch all that one. Had the sun in my eyes, but that sunset's pretty. Damn, 35 people watching. I don't know if that's a personal record, but I'm going to call it good. Thank you, everybody. Should have probably bought a tablet. Then it'd be quicker and easier to read the screen when people comment. You know, bigger, getting old. Can everybody hear me all right? I guess I should have asked that at the beginning. Yeah, we've had some great weather here in Michigan. Awesome, thank you. I think a week ago my heat was still on. Now I'm running the fan. Ground conditions are about perfect right now. There is moisture down the ground. It's fairly dry right on the top. Got the field disc. Yeah, what they're saying, thunderstorms tomorrow later in the day. Hoping my spray guys can, I got a couple of fields that need some burn down on them. I'm hoping they can get that knocked out before the rain gets here so I can start doing this job. Yeah, honestly, a little shot of rain won't hurt a thing. We're dusty on top now, at least the sandy ground is. I had some urea spread on here. It's treated, but still, a little rain would help that get in the ground. Well, I had a lot of areas bet on here. At least that's what the bill's going to say. Predicted thunderstorms. Yeah. I know. So it could be, my forecast is showing like 1/10 of an inch. That 1/10 could turn into a whole inch in just a heartbeat with a thunderstorm. I think I'm going to do some disking tomorrow. Some of my bean ground has been pretty wet. I think some of the spots I want to get worked up or finally dried out. Hit those before it rains again. Get the stubble broke up. Hey, Charlie, how you doing today? I'm an 1855 right up the road, and I'm trying to buy setback axle. Well, that's cool. Oh, hey, Hume Farms. Is this Owen? Planting, the great time, a time of great hopefulness. My ag teacher in high school would say every bag of corn is a 400 bushel an acre bag of corn, and once you put it in the ground, it's all downhill from there. Yes, Charlie, I'm doing good. It's just stressful up until this point, being ready to roll and not being able to plant. So getting out here, I've been sleeping better the last few nights. And just feel better. I think a lot of people don't understand that. You know, all they do is think all day about when they're going to get out of work, and excited that it's Friday. And a farmer is just like, I can sleep because I've been working. You know, I'm Save fuel this year. Would you consider just plowing the trash over instead of shredding, disking? Normally for my bean ground, which always goes on my corn stubble, I do 2 passes with the disc, and I'm still going to. There was one year I tried just 1 pass, and this does a good job of breaking up the stubble, but that second pass really breaks up the soil better. It just makes for a lot better seed bed and gets that second flush of first flush of weeds after disking it. Helps clean the field up, and so I'm going to still make my second pass. Oh, let's see. Hey, that one happy farmer. Oh, hey, now it has potential. You're right, Jeff. It's, yeah, someone's broken over 600. I know there's been guys here. There's been a guy not too far from here in Michigan that's been winning the contest. I think that was an irrigated ground. He ain't getting 600, but he's been getting well over 4. Yeah, I remember my ag teacher. Every bag had the potential for 400 bushel an acre, but boy, that's definitely changed. Hey, one happy farmer, are you out in the field right now? If anybody drives by this field and sees crooked roads, it's YouTube's fault. I'd be happy with 400 as well. I can remember when I first started doing stuff on the farm, we were happy with 120. Show you my ugly mug again for a little bit. Can you even see the planter? Barely. I think it's mostly because my window's so filthy. really should have thought of that before I came to the field and washed it off. And here's I found this the easy way, not in the tire. I think he was a 3-point, and one of the points broke off. Well, 3-point on one side, I guess that'd be 6. I found a 11-point, was that last week? Yeah, beginning of last week. Basically disking while it was raining until I got rained off, but he was down in a swampy area. Boy, he had a big rack with big brow tines. Oh, yeah, not seeing a lot back there. I could stop and clean the window. I've got stuff in here for it. I'll switch back to sunset view. It's looking pretty nice. Come on, phone. The camera button's right where the camera is. Someone really thought there. I see you on Facebook kicking up some dust, Owen. Your dad posted a picture of you. I'm guessing you probably saw it too. Years and years ago, this field was alfalfa, well, this corner of the field. About 25 acres of alfalfa, going with these rolling hills. You're always getting people wanting to buy this land off of us to build on. It is a good spot for alfalfa, for as sandy as it is. Be a great place for a house with a walkout basement. Well, as you can see from the horizon getting crooked there, I'm on a side hill. It'll level out eventually. Charlie, the PA grain farmer, you probably used to, yeah, I've seen hills in your videos. I don't think there's much flat land in Pennsylvania, is there? Now we can get on the side hill the opposite direction. Just watch the horizon, that's my level indicator. I saw that this morning. Millennial Farmers, he was in the path of destruction apparently. I messaged a couple of friends out that way. One, he's a couple hours south of there and had storms, but nothing that bad, fortunately. And I'm also glad to hear Zach said that no one got hurt at his place. See, he's got a video up, but I haven't had a chance to watch it. That'd be Ross. Yeah, I see where he just uploaded a video when I was starting this one. Maybe I should send him a message and get him to tune in. Ordering up a new case, cheaper than... How is planting is going great. It's hard to go wrong in this field as far as the sand makes it super easy to plant. I had a fertilizer disc, the bearing set up on it, and it spun the bolt right out and dropped the disc. So I ran back up, fixed that real quick, fueled up, reload fertilizer over there. Was doing a pretty good job because it's in sand. You can see some white streaks. My straw chopper last fall developed a hole, and as late as we were getting in some beans, I was not going to mess with it. The planter's been pushing it out of the way good. But yeah, some of it was just shooting straight on the ground out of the hole on the bottom of the straw chopper. That was one of those pick your battle type things, which now I got to get that fixed now that I think about it. Well, I can see now YouTube makes me go slow. I keep forgetting to shift up to 10th. What I do when I get to the end of the field here is turn around, let you guys enjoy the sunset for a moment while I hop out real quick and wipe that back window off so we can see the planter better when I switch camera angles. Alright, Charlie. Yeah, I grabbed a quick bite to eat while I was up at the farm. Wife says lunches or dinner or whatever's ready. Get it while it's hot. Appreciate you watching. Ooh, I can pick up that rock, and that rock, and that rock. I've seen some of it. I don't know if he's got stuff out in the field. I haven't had as much time to watch videos lately with being in the field. Oliver 66 Farm Boys do, new to him, 8-row forward fold. I know he had to rework it because I think it was on wide rows and he made a narrow row. Okay, I am going to hop out real quick, wipe off that back window, enjoy the sunset, talk amongst ourselves, and I will be right back. The video will keep going. I just won't be here for a moment. Had to go harvest our other Michigan crop, rocks. Oh, I bet 98 degrees. We haven't cracked 90. We were 87 yesterday. They were saying on the news, Canadian treasures. Yeah, that's yeah, I think that's where the hell came from. My friend Alan, most of you probably seen Juliet still in the incubator, but she's looking more like her mom. Hey, that's awesome, Gary. What was I saying about Alan? Oh, he's a bit of a rock hound, and he can show on the map different parts of Canada where our rocks came from, based on what kind of rock they are, how the glaciers brought them across, and they dug out the Great Lakes and all that stuff. Hope I didn't moon anybody when I went and picked that rock. Speaking of moon, there's a lunar eclipse, I think Saturday night into Sunday morning, the middle of the night. So if you like that kind of stuff, set your alarm clock or something, get up and go out and enjoy it. That sun gets below the horizon and the air conditioning works a lot better. Oh, I know what I was going to say on the news. Traverse City, if everybody knows where that's at. Let's switch cameras here. You look at the state of Michigan. That's wrong hand. Yeah. Traverse City's kind of up in here. On Tuesday, they got up to 92. And then sometime around 6 o'clock, they dropped to like 87 or something like that. But then the wind shifted and started coming off Lake Michigan, and it dropped 30 degrees in 10 minutes. Go from sweating to wearing a sweater. But, yeah, I got down to, I think 57, they said. It was... show the went and cleaned the window off, hoping the planter would show better, and the window was a lot cleaner. Now the dust's not kind of showing up. Maybe without the lights on. Yeah, that's better. Yeah, you still can't see much of it, can you? Hello from Utah. I finally caught one of your live streams. Watch your channel for more than a year now. I really like all your... Thank you very much. Good Luck Planet. I finished up. Oh, shoot, and it disappeared on me. Hope that I finished up this morning. Wow, you're like the first one I've heard about finishing. I'm sure they're out there, especially getting down to Tennessee, but no one around here. I know of guys that haven't even started yet. They're just waiting for things to dry out. And then my wife's got a friend in upstate New York. She said it's so dry there, her flowers are wilting, and which is odd because it usually seems like the weather we get kind of ends up going towards New York, but it's pushing up into Canada this spring, at least the last week or so. It's cool to viewer from Utah. I don't do many live streams. Most of the time it's because I just don't have a good internet signal. Hopefully it's coming through good tonight, and that's part of the reason I decided to do it tonight. I can see I had a good strong signal. I need to work on my Wi-Fi in my shop, try to improve that. My cellular signal at my shop is just terrible. I thought about doing it live from my shop, or around the collection, and that way people could ask questions on the fly, and I could go and point things out and everything. But it just our cellular coverage is not the greatest at our home at the home farm there. It gets the job done, but I don't think it's good enough for a live feed like this. Yeah, what was that term? Canadian surprises, or well, I guess it was 2020. We actually made it to the Louisville Farm Show. I was looking at the planters there and how now everything's about high speed, planting 10 miles an hour, and I just wonder how those things would handle on rocks. Usually I plant right around 5. I've been trying to slow it down just a little bit this year. Well, some of my gauge wheels are a little dinged up. Just you hit a rock, and even at 5 mile an hour, it will knock the seeds off the seed plate and get a gap. They just leave the messages up all the time on this. Maybe there's I think I say this every time. Maybe there's a setting I'm missing. Let's see if the lights help this time. No, it just shows more dust. Let's look at the sunset again. At least I've got dust. Chris, I will have to try to come up there this summer and check out your collection. Let's see, most of the time we get your weather here in Western PA, but it's a woodchuck hole. Yeah, nice. Oh, and then the message just went away. Back, okay. How can you afford fuel? You know, interesting story there. I mean, it's one of those things you gotta have it. I bought a couple tractor batteries last week. Alan came down, we went to the tractor club meeting, and slipped into TSC real quick to get a couple, and even after with the core charges and everything and tax exempt, it was still $309 for 2 batteries. And we were saying something about that. I said, you know, that's actually not that bad. I filled up the 4225, and that wasn't even all down all the way, and that still was over $400 to top it off. And the poor cash register lady I thought was going to have a heart attack. I can only imagine. Would it be worth it to try and bypass the back? Show them where my glasses too. Getting where I need them. If I leave the tractor lights off, I don't get as much glare on my screen at night. The auto steer will take care of it. I can see my mark. Okay, I'm going to stop. Would it be worth it to try and add a bypass oil filter? What? Not to an 1855 or just swap a 1955. If the If it's not a cooler block 1855, which there's still a few of them wandering around out there that haven't been updated, yeah, a bypass filter would help. It adds a little more capacity on, and I'm sure you gotta get some kind of cooling out of it. Not a lot, but then again, that bypass filter is not really regulated, and so it takes some of the. Oh, do I have a rocket closing wheel? I guess not. No, I'm just saying things. Never mind. So yeah, I guess it depends on which engine it's got, Owen. If it's got the the whole cooler block, then it really is a 1955 engine. And if it doesn't, it's in the parts book. They had an adapter that turned the sock filter into a spin-on filter, and then a couple of coolant lines went to it to cool the oil. Ross has got one. Ross, the Oliver man, he's got one on his 1855. And I know it's been in a video. We've discussed it. So, adding on to the oil pan. I don't know, in some ways it's, more capacity again, but it's just a heat sink. So eventually that oil's still going to get hot. Adding more oil supply, it's kind of like it gives you a better buffer, but you really still just need to have a way to get that heat out of there. Whether it's with a cooler, coolant oil cooler, or even running something up in front of the radiator. A small coil would probably make a difference. I'm surprised no one mentioned, let's see, I'll switch this back. Surprised no one mentioned my video where I was loading out corn and I got the toy from John who hauls my grain. No one noticed that toy was sitting on the 1855 block, or if they did notice, they didn't mention it. I've got basically everything back for the engine, but I found a couple of dings in the head, and I called my machinist, and so I took it back in, and figures that there was a customer picking up something else, and he moved my pallet of stuff outside to get to his, and he thinks they might have, I noticed, awesome. He thinks they must have backed into my pallet and knocked my head off or something, because I trust Daryl. He has done our work from back when the dealership was still open, and I've never had a problem with his work. He's always up front and everything. So he's checking her over again. He was as shocked as I was. I told him about it. So that kind of slowed that down. Of course, spring planting did as well. Had to get the planter around, other stuff. And he's just about done with the block and parts for the 1600. Crank was still good enough. Told the missus about it, and she said, stop. I swear. This is about it. She said there was an oil field road about there. Oh, okay. Catch up here a little bit about the comments. The dings were on the valves, and nothing where none of the mating surfaces, but both the hits were on the valves. Fortunately, in my stash, I've got more new valves, And it did chip the head just a little bit where one of the injectors comes through. So, not sure what to think on that, but he's going to take her all apart, remagniflux it, make sure nothing got cracked, and just give her a good once over, replace those two valves. And let me know how it turns out, but it hit, and it kind of looked like a stone or something, and both of them were right on the edge of a valve, kind of smushed the edge of those valves. It definitely, it wasn't just a little tumble, it took a good hit. I didn't check it out when I was there at the machine shop, because like I've said before, he's always done awesome work. And he said he did mill the head, and so when I got it to my shop, I laid out a beach towel for it, set it down on that, and then tipped it up, and that's when I noticed the damage. I called him up right away. So, worst comes to worst, I've got a already reconditioned head. I thought about using that, but I also felt that I should get this one rebuilt while I know I can, can get everything, guides and springs, and that. Put all new springs on it. Yeah, I replaced all the I replaced all the, I think it was the intake guides. The other exhausts were all right, but replaced a lot of stuff on that head. I'm always looking for more Olivers, so I figured I better just keep that other one as a spare and get this run reconditioned while I can. Dark in here. Oh, where's the deal? I guess I could do that. Someone asked, I saw, now it pops in my head, do I use GPS? Nope. It's just Parker and me and the steering wheel. Give everybody something to talk about that way. Out front, let's check. See the reflection of the planter in the back window up there. Yeah, right there. I think that cross auger that I use for the dry fertilizer it's getting all sorts of pinholes in it, but this is actually the third planter it's been on, amazingly enough. When I sold my last 5100, I was going to let it go with it, just get a new cross auger for the 6100 or 6600. And the guy didn't want it. He wanted dry fertilizer, but he didn't want the cross auger. So we kept it and put it on this one. I figure as long as it works and it's paid for. But it does still work. I got a couple of wraps of duct tape in spots, but getting to be more and more holes all the time. We got our first 5100 planter in 81 or somewhere in there. So that's not a new cross auger by any stretch of the imagination. Duct tape will repair anything but a broken heart. Yeah. Red Green might even say it will fix a broken heart. Surely there's some Red Green fans out there. If my father-in-law is watching, then I know at least one Red Green fan's out there. Like slowing down right as you hit a woodchuck mound. They were bad in this field. like the sand. It's easy digging. Love watching Red Green's reruns. Oh yeah. If the ladies don't find you handsome, they should at least find you handy. Keep your stick on the ice. My wife don't find. Come back. Ah. Let's switch you back here. I said, let's switch you back here. There we go. So, well, your father lost some ice cream from all. Yeah, that Mrs. Oliver guy buy some ice cream sandwich in my shop. Mow lawn. He can just go rate them himself. Hopefully they're still there next time he comes out. He does like the ice cream sandwiches. Well, ice cream in any form. Also, Alan. You know, if you guys enjoy seeing Alan on the channel, Alan is a huge dairy fan. Ice cream, cheese, milk. Alan loves it all. Weird, it's so much brighter. Well, I switched all the lights on the 6125 to LED, and they are nice. I think the ones in the back are all Tiger LED, and the poor camera can't expose for that and for me. It's so much easier to see now. Maybe I need to switch this cap interior light over to LED. I can really be blind. Just saw a meme on Facebook the other day that a farmer cannot simply go to town on a parts run without getting ice cream. That's pretty true. I know it was for my dad. He loved ice cream as well. There were 2 cartons of ice cream in our freezer. The family carton and Dad's carton. You didn't mess with Dad's carton of ice cream. There's a car. Loved to have, disappeared, known your father and heard all the stories he could tell. Yeah, I wish he was still around. Harold was a perfect oil for Ed, yes. Yeah, I think all knowledge that Dad took with him, especially now that, I always liked tractors, but the Oliver history, when I was young, didn't interest me as much as it does now. Things, we went to dealer meetings and stuff. I went to dealer meetings, but it was all AGCO stuff by the time I was going. I was only, 5 or 6 when the last Oliver tractor rolled off the line. So, most all of this stuff happened before me. So you gotta learn it from someone else. Fortunate to have Dad and other people I've known share their wisdom with me. I wouldn't be what I am without them. By that it set off the alarm. One of the row units took a good hop over a rock. That'll usually shake its seeds off the plate to make it beat for a second. I'm going to buy a shirt. They are badass. Thank you. I would just think I need to order some more myself. I get them, and then I think I should wear that on the channel, but I'm always working, and I always get dirt and grease all over my stuff. I don't want to ruin my Herman shirts. They always say, wear your merch on your channel. Well, in my heart, I'm wearing my merch, but in my tightwadish farmer sense, I'm not wearing it because I don't want to have to buy it twice. I'm from Central New York. Really enjoy your channel. Thank you. I'm planting fava beans. Isn't that what Hannibal Lecter liked? What is a fava bean? I've heard of them, and basically because of the Silence of the Lambs. And where are you planting fava beans at? What part of the country or part of the world? I guess, it's YouTube. You could be anywhere. I wonder if the last 2255, oops, wrong button. I'm going to stop so I can read this. Don't go away. All right, I'll go again. Like the Herman on that Oliver Black Smoke. Yeah, Doug did an awesome job. He kind of brainstormed about the design on that for that shirt, and he just went with it from there. And boy, he just knocked it out of the park. Doug always does awesome artwork, and he told me, "Well, I'm not good with drawing people." I said, well, I'm not looking for a portrait. I'd like something, a little cartoony caricature. And that was, I think, all he needed to know. He went with it from there. On that design, if you, details that are on there, in the background, the building is our dealership building. Depending on what size you get. The kids' shirts, the print's so small you can't tell, but on a big guy like me, you get a 2X, and you can actually see where the window says Vern Losey and Son on it. And then I had a picture of the Super 77 running an auger at the grain bins during wheat harvest, and so there's on the right side of the image there are some grain bins there with an Oliver at it, and that's what that's from. So he really went all out when he designed that. I'm glad I've got old pictures of the dealership. I want to recreate that window. I don't know, it's been at least 10 years, but there was an ice storm and the sill was rotted under that window that had Vern Losey and Son painted on it. Between the ice that built up on the window, the wind, and the rotten windowsill, it busted out. It was a bajillion, there was no saving it. A sad day, but I've got good pictures of it, so I can recreate it. Watch closer. I don't know if he answered about fava beans or not. Oh, here we go, I think. Americans call them horse beans. Near Horsham, Victoria, Australia. Wow, that's awesome. Chris, you got to make a What Happened to Oliver video. Yeah, yesterday I was actually thinking about that. And there are a lot of nails in Oliver's coffin. I know a lot of people blame the truck line, and it definitely did its share of damage. Some people blame White, and they did their share of damage. They helped too, because Oliver wasn't in the best shape in the late 50s. If financially. I mean, they had good equipment. They were developing the 1800 and 1900, which almost got axed. That would have pretty much killed the company. But White, it did inject money into Oliver when they first bought them, and then in the mid-60s were one of Oliver's heydays, and a lot of that was because of the investment White put into Oliver to get them more up to snuff, trying to make them a full-line equipment dealer or brand. And then once things were up and running, that's when they kind of really started to screw things up. So it's a, like I say, there's no one thing I think that just something like when they were developing the 88, they had every intention of building the engine in-house entirely. The way it ended up being was they poured castings in Charles City. A truck loaded the rough castings up and took them for the engine. Took them to Waukesha, Wisconsin. Well, actually, it didn't even go all the way. The truck came from Wisconsin, and they met halfway, switched trailers. And the trailer from Waukesha had complete engines in it, and the one from Charles City had rough castings. But the reason they didn't do it in-house was they just felt the workforce, there was not enough workforce in the Charles City area to add on to that much work to build the engine and everything. They just kind of remote, and town was not big enough to supply enough workers to take on that project. That's kind of what helped them do the deal they did with Waukesha. So, there's a factor too, maybe if they'd been in a place like Moline or something like John Deere was, and a larger workforce to draw from, that might have made a difference. Oliver & White's was the best. Love the 1550 278. 1955. Better watch my mark. It's getting dark out. There's a crooked row. Yeah, I need to confer with some of my Oliver friends and see what input they've got in on the whole what happened to Oliver. Because, honestly, I've got to go from what other people told me, because it all happened before my time. So, weren't there some models built by Moline? Way, darn it. See, this is why I should do this in my shop, where I can, pay attention. And I think on a bigger screen, the comments might stay up. I don't know, I've watched other people do live feeds, and they seem to be able to stay up with the comments without having to touch their screen. So they're usually doing it from a computer or a tablet or something. I'm doing mine from my phone. JD and IH came out with their clothing line. Oliver did not. Yeah, John Deere definitely worked the whole loyalty aspect. We were talking about loyalty earlier. And they knew marketing. I will definitely give you that. And they do to this day. That's probably why they're kind of on the top of the heap. But yeah, I remember as a kid. We had there was leftover Oliver toys that now, in retrospect, I wish I had. I mean, they were in the back room. By the time I was wandering over to the dealership, the white toys were out, but there weren't a lot of white toys. And I mean, my parents would actually get us IH and John Deere toys because there just wasn't anything available for a while there in the 70s and 80s. A couple of white tractors. I had my 2135 that I farmed a lot of carpet with, and it was a Deere now. But there was no implements, and just for a long time there was a kind of a gap. And when the kids ain't playing with them toys, they don't get the attachment So deer was definitely on to something, you know, keep the toys out there, the merchandise. Yeah, I had an international toy combine. Do you think Oliver could have? And it disappears. Sorry about that, everybody. I'm also getting close to the hedgerow, so I gotta pay attention to that. It's like about 2 more passes. No one wants to lose a marker, do they? See, if I had auto steer, I could just flip the wheel up, sit here and steer at the screen. I keep telling everybody, it's not like I got anything better going on. I'm sitting here in a tractor, I can watch Netflix or I can drive. Well, we get to this side done, we get to the other side of this house. Since you can't see this house up there and probably identify where it is, I'm going to tell a little story about it. The owner is not the current owner that's there anyway, so, but, oh man, it was at least 20 years, probably closer to 30 years ago. But, oh, the guy that lived here, he was unique. Never really gave me any trouble. But one time, one day, a state trooper I know, he says, Chris, just be careful over there by them. And I said, well, why is that? They never give me any trouble. And he says, well, I had to do a domestic there. And the guy and his daughter were having a big argument, and he shot the car. I said, wow, what happened from that? He said, well, there's no law in shooting a car, so no one wanted to press charges. So I just left him with a warning. That's all I could do. But he's like, the guy with his own daughter got mad and shot his car. So you just might want to, you know, not get him wound up or anything. But Dave long since moved off. And he never did give me any grief. I think I let him cut some wood along this hedgerow here. Generally, you know, you give people a little something. They give you a little in return, you know, a little firewood, they give you a little peace. Give you a little respect at least. Some people do some sketchy stuff, yes they do. You know, I guess the way he talked, the car was titled in his own name. You know, there is no law against shooting your own car, but you know, at the end of the day, maybe impressed his daughter a little bit, but he still had a bullet hole in his car. I don't know what he gained out of that, but... Uh-oh, row number 5's running out. Just as I'm finishing up, too. Alright. Well, disconnect you guys from here so you can go with me. Maybe there's enough in there I can give the car care and a story. Yeah. Battery's doing 67%, not bad. See if I can go shuffle some corn around. Number 5 ran out. The others probably ain't far behind, but hopefully there's enough in one of them. Let me switch angles here. Grab a glove too so I don't be dipping my hand in pink stuff. Dang it. My kingdom for a left-handed glove. Yeah, I got like just one more pass after this one to finish up. Hopefully there's enough in here to scooch it around. Hey, that's how you get it. Was the AGCO tractor any good? I would You know, this white 6125, there was an AGCO version of it, and the only difference would be that the white used the Cummins engine and silver paint, and the AGCO Alice used a, first they used Deutz, and then you had a choice between a Deutz and I believe it was a Detroit Diesel 60 series. But other than that, they used the white rear end and the Funk Power Shift. So yeah, you know, overall they're good. So let's go see if I can't shuffle some corn around. Yeah, it looks like there's still a little bit in number 2. I had an odd number of bags, and so I tried to split them up evenly as best I could, but now there's some corn there. Yeah, there should be enough to get me finished up here. So let's see, number 5 was out. Oh yeah. Number 4 is almost out. Hey, there goes the lid. There's a bunch in number 6. This is the reason I'm scooping is this is the last of this variety. I like to run them out or get darn close to running out. Especially I'll be changing maturities after this, so. Man, it's still nice out. Let's see, yeah, 4 is low. Let's see how 3 looks. Not a lot in 3. But there's some in 2. Some there. Ooh. Gotta tell you, I don't use the insecticide boxes anymore, so I use them for storage and got a McDonald's cup in there. And this one here, there was a dead deer in a field, and they had a small rack on it, but I always save them for my friend Jim. And I didn't want it, it was, you know, of course nasty. I didn't want it riding up in the cab with me. I think that was about 3 years ago. And this insecticide box still reeks because I put that deer head in there to bring it home so I didn't have to smell it in the cab. And whew, that plastic must have absorbed the smell because it just is nasty. Get some in number 4 here. Oh, I did get some in number 4. It's good. Those look pretty even now. That's number 1. Yeah, that should do her. That should be plenty to get me finished up in this part of the field. So, moral of the story, don't ever stick a dead deer head in your planter insecticide box. Not like I was going to eat out of it, though. Here we go. Anybody got any questions while I'm right here by the planter? How close to you are you to being done planting, or you just start? I started on Monday. I passed the halfway point today. So I'm about half done with corn, just slightly over. The white is a 97. That was I think that was the last year for this 6000 series. It's the later one. They improved the frame, sculpted it, so if it's front wheel assist, it's probably about the biggest thing I wish I'd done on this tractor. Actually, when I decided to buy it, someone's texting me. When I decided to buy it, they'd already discontinued the 6000 series, so I had to go with whatever I could find on another dealer's lot. Really wanted 42-inch rubber, but the only ones I could find were front wheel assist, and for what I was using this for, I didn't really feel it was worth the extra money. In retrospect, it was. I should have gotten it, but One of the things I like is the external, probably can't see it with the light, external lever to run the 3-point hitch. That was only on the last couple of years. Basically, after they bought Massey Ferguson, they were able to take the Massey Ferguson 3-point hitch technology and adapt it to the white tractors. And boy, that really, the 3-point hitch, the actual physical parts are still white, but they added the electronics from the Massey, and so setting the draft control and sensitivity, height, and lowering speed and stuff is just super easy. Of course, it's electronic, so it's something to go wrong eventually too. But here she is, 25 years old now, and it's still working. Oh. Let's see if I can, which way did I do this? Be a load off my shoulders to know where the last 2255 is today, or if it even still exists. I hope it is good news. Yeah, me too. My friend Blaine looked or pulled build cards, and I think he said that one did end up staying in the United States. There were quite a few of the last 2255s that got exported, and of course even Canada was an export, so they might not be that far away. Yeah, that was the next to the last one has been found. I remember someone posted, I think it was on Facebook, but I do remember a post about that somewhere. Or it's close to the end. That would definitely be a neat one to have. I guess until someone comes up with that last one, they got the newest Oliver ever. Oh, that was probably about 12 years ago. In the wintertime, I went out to Charles City, partially do some research at the museum, or Floyd County Museum, but every so often the workers from the plant, as they called it, the tractor factory, get together at the local Hy-Vee. I don't know if they still do it or not. They get together and have breakfast, and so I checked, and Dean Barker, who was an engineer there, asked he would go occasionally, and he checked with the guys. They said, yeah, that'd be fine. So Blaine and I went up there and had breakfast with the guys from the factory. Boy, that was just a neat to sit down with those guys and talk. The stories they told, I wish I'd recorded it. I don't know, I didn't have the foresight or what, but the stories working in there, because one of the guys said, when we took up the 2255s, he said they'd been building nothing but silver tractors for a little while. Anything at the plant, there's just slabs of concrete where the factory used to be. That's it, and lots of trees and shrubs, and nothing intentional. Just basically while, and all of a sudden, here comes some green ones, and they were 2255s. It was that last order. Legend goes that a diamond company in Africa had ordered some, and they would only take 2255s, and since then it's kind of been cast into doubt how accurate that story is. But anyways, this guy says, I thought they'd come to their senses. We've been building these white tractors for a little while, a couple of years, because they started the whites in 74, the first ones. Not a whole lot of them, the 4150 and stuff, but so I thought they'd come to their senses, these green tractors coming down the line, and then, yes, the 2255 was the last green Oliver off the Charles City line. Even if you count the Americans, which can come in green, those were all built in Coldwater, Ohio. Yep, this is going to be the last pass on this part. Good evening. Hey, Andy. How is farming going in New York? Been seeing you guys been getting chisel plowing done, and didn't notice if you've gotten any planting done yet. I've heard you guys have been dry. Coming to Forest City in June. Yes, I am. Plans are underway. Unless something seems like something every so often would come up and like, nope, you can't go, Chris. And we're making it happen. Wife and the daughter are going to stay home by the sounds. But Alan's coming with me, so that's the current plan. I'll have to get a hold of you so you're in the neighborhood, so to speak. Yeah, just look for Mike Kelsom. Listen for Mike Kelsom, you'll find me. Here's a question for everybody. The edge of the field, well, of course, everybody's probably going to grow shutoffs and stuff. In the good old days, if you had to overlap, how many rows would you overlap before you decided that it wasn't worth overlapping anymore? Planning is going well. Zeke? There was an 1855 sent to Haiti. Markers up. There were 3 rows on a 6-row planter. That's about my limit. I get more than that. And those, I mean, the deer get the outside row around here, and then the trees sap them out too. So the outside couple of rows really don't amount to anything. But if you don't have them there, the deer will just move in the next 2 rows. So, and if you don't work up to the trees grow out to the field. So you just do it. I guess it's part of farming. All 6. I mean, this has got manual clutches on it. I could get out and go back there and shut off a couple of rows, but we know that's not happening. Sacrificial rows. Yeah, the deer food. Okay, this part of the field is done. We'll go around here and might as well run until the alarm beeps at me or something. I'm truly out. Then I'm going to call it a night. Probably another round or 2 in here. Hey, Andy Horrigan, are you still watching? Our Oliver show is going to be in Canandaigua next summer. Wondering how close that was to you. Bugs are liking the new LED lights when they're going nuts. Oh, I got 41 watching. Oh, nope, 39. Shouldn't have looked. Still, hey, I appreciate 39. Hope everybody's having a great Friday night. I got just a couple more rounds here to make, so here goes the story. Finally figure out how to work this comments thing. 55 along the 310 needed. Have an overhaul. Story to be continued. Turn the air down just a little too much. The wrong marker went down. Auto steer probably doesn't have that problem. Hey, I'm back up to 41. Let's see if mentioning it. So, Chris, what's your take on fertilizer and fuel costs? Do you think they'll keep going up or maybe dip down? You know, in my fuel man the other day, people are really getting upset about the price of fuel. And, it's not just the farmers. Obviously, we're not liking it any more than anybody else. The truckers, man, that's gotta be hurting them. I just don't know how much longer people will put up with it. It's a midterm election year, and I don't care which party you're on. You want to get reelected, and I gotta think, of course, they've been trying to do stuff. We all have seen how effective that is. But I think there's just a lot of gouging going on. Someone was telling me Shell reported $8 billion for first quarter profits. If it was their expenses going up, their profits would be up too. So, and it's natural gas, going a lot of yes. Yeah, especially nitrogen. I know in here in Michigan, north of Grand Rapids, there was I think that was going to be a potassium mine, and they fast-tracked that. To start mining out of that, I think they're going to do solution mining on that. And that's supposed to be a pretty good sized plant, but it's just getting rolling, and then the prices went up. So if that one gets online, I think that'll help. We live in the oil patch. The refiners are definitely gouging people. Yeah, any new drilling for oil and gas? Yeah, I gotta wonder, because back in 2008 when prices of gas got so high back then, everybody around here was drilling. When oil was 140 bucks a barrel, it was worth it to go drilling after some little pocket of oil that, back in the 80s, they did some seismic testing around here, and they said there was oil down under some of our ground, but it was so deep and not, the easiest to get to, that it wasn't financially feasible to go after it. Well, then they're at 2009-ish, when oil was so high. Then all of a sudden, they're coming in, they're wanting to drill, and they did. They produced for a while, and then the oil went back down. I remember a report, some Saudi prince said, and obviously he's not held up his word, that he never let oil get that high again, because it made things like shale oil out in the Dakotas and the fracking a lot more feasible, just because there was a lot better profit margin. Some of these marginal areas of oil, they just ain't worth drilling until it's up over 100 bucks a barrel. There's a big surplus of drilling permits, and simply because more oil will bring down the price of oil. Yeah, if farmers stood together the way the oil companies have been, I guess right now we're pushing $8 corn. It's nothing to scoff at, but then again, it seems like every time the farmer starts making money, they gouge us, they hit us. I remember getting a letter from Monsanto back in the early 2000s, or late 2000s, when, about 10 years ago, or when the prices were high, and in so many words it said, hey, we know you're making more money, we're going to take our share, so expect the prices of everything to go up, and the technology fees. I'll never begrudge anybody for making a profit. That's how we all put food on the table. But then there's gouging. That is the upside of being a farmer in an $8 corn market. I do not feel bad selling corn for $8 a bushel, because someone else is telling me it's worth that. It would have been worth $8 a bushel all along if I was the one getting to set my prices. Let's see, 3,889 hours. So I guess in big picture, this is a low-hour tractor for being a 1997. Machine Repeat would probably report on it if it was in an auction. I couldn't believe some of us farmers are as guilty seeing some of these auction prices this last winter. It takes two guys to get them up that high. And you know, some guys are kind of over a barrel. I've heard about guys that might be the end of the corn. You know, some guys, they ordered a new tractor, they trade in their old one, the dealer sells that, and then they find out, oh yeah, production's behind because of all these shipping delays, and now they're not going to have a tractor, so they have to go to an auction somewhere and pay too much for one because they're between a rock and a hard place. So, you know, oh, yeah, row 5's out again. We're just going to call it good. I had them spread out pretty even. I'm sure there ain't enough in there to make another pass. Well, that worked out pretty good. Yeah, I was mentioning earlier, the guy does my trucking. He ordered a new planter last year, and it just finally came in, and he's got to put his spray stuff on it. And he was smart enough to keep his old one. Even though he's trading it in, he said he will not leave here until my one's up and running. And I don't blame him one bit. Oh man, it's 10 o'clock. Guess I must have been having fun. I'll pull up to the end here. Let's see the review. You gotta have it. Yeah, it's just like diesel fuel. There's another woodchuck hole. Went to Haiti, full rack of waited to get stolen, got scrapped. Yeah, you know, one of the dealer meetings I went to, I was after AGCO had bought Massey Ferguson. Maybe that was service school. Doesn't really matter where it was because they were telling about how Massey Ferguson tractors that were shipping over from Europe would no longer come with radios installed. They'd have to be a dealer-installed option, and that was because they'd load them on the boat with radios in them, and by the time they got to the United States, they did not have radios in them. Woodchuck, yes, same as a groundhog. This is my driveway. Yes. And the crazy thing that gets me, you know, you load a boat, or load a bunch of tractors on a boat, ship them across the Atlantic, and there's how many guys on the ship? You know one of them took it. Let's see, John Deere, oh, not a single tractor went offline in 10 hours waiting for wire harnesses from China. Wow. Hey Zeke, don't you have the saying about how much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? Yeah, that's the same thing as a groundhog. Alright, I suppose I can leave this rolling while I go up the road. Maybe you'll see the accident that way. Too much stuff made in China, no doubt about that. I've been trying to be more diligent about buying made in the USA. I mean, they're just, sometimes our hands are tied. I'm going to turn off this interior light so I can see. You probably won't see much other than flashing lights. I'll put it forward so you can see the cars get scared when they come at me. read your comment later, Owen. I'm on the road. I'll plant crooked roads, but I'm not going to put it in the ditch. Coming up here on the left, I can pull into the field, but my oats are up out of the ground looking good. I didn't make a video of that. I had every intention of disking that up with Herman and then getting an 88 out to pull the drill. And it was only 11 acres. My daughter had a soccer game that morning. We went to that, and the rain was supposed to hold off until the evening, and it just started developing these little shots of rain off and on. And so I chickened out and went with cab tractors because I weren't getting so much that we couldn't keep working, but it just, I didn't want to sit out in the rain. It was not very warm that day. By that time, I just wanted to get it done, so I didn't do anything. I put the American on the drill and I disked with the 4225. I was contemplating planting a lot more oats this year, but boy, it's not really any local place to get rid of them. But the price of oats have really gone through the roof, just like everything else. But they are cheap to grow. They don't take near as much nitrogen as wheat or corn, and I've got seed, so then the price of everything else jumped up, so I went with the usual rotation. I only grow the oats for cover crop seed. I do sell some of the extras. Got a friend with horses. They like my oats, so I usually sell them the excess that I don't use for cover crop. Keep a little back each year for seed to grow the next cover crop. Really happy with the way the wheat's looking so far. Wish I could have gotten the nitrogen on a little quicker, but we're just so wet. But boy, it's responding good to it. Had them sprayed last fall for weed control, so they're just nice and clean, and they've just jumped up this last week. They sprayed for fungicide yesterday. We'll hit them one more time. They're around heading for head scab. But right now, heading towards a good wheat crop by the looks. Had that for lunch today. That was good. 100 thumbs up. That's awesome. Lunchtime. You must be on the other side. Are you my Australia viewer? Midday. That made it daylight. least one of you saw it. My father-in-law was nice enough to come out a couple days ago and mow all my yard for me. Brian, thank you for watching. Only got close to 10 acres left in that field, but finished up the variety I had. Some time to reload, but I think it's time to call it a night. Although there will be some Olivers here in a moment when I slide the doors open. How heavy do I seed oats? Generally about 2.5 bushel to 3 bushel an acre. I think I was right up around 3 this year. I had plenty of seed, so I just laid it down. I've still actually got some left, but my horse friend is going to take the rest of them. Just bin run oats. All right. Let's open some doors and see some Olivers. There's the 525 combine people are often asking about. That one's got a serious rod knock. I need to figure out what I'm going to do with that one of these days. Anybody want to see a walk around of the Olivers in this barn real quick before I call it a night? Am I still coming good? Again, good. All the metal in this barn, I don't get the best signal in here. We've got a yes. That's all I need. Yeah, let's shut the 6125 down. Give her a pat. She did good. Thank you. That's good to know. I could try switching the Wi-Fi. Might be able to pick up from my mom's house from here. Let me go to lights. Here's the 66 diesel. $19.54. How many tractors? I think I'm up to 45 that run. And there's a few that are parts tractors and the 1974, 1955 front wheel assist. I've got some foot. I hauled my brother's manure, got that spread, and I used the 1955. Just got to put that together and upload it. I might do that for Sunday's video since I did the live of planting corn today. I've got footage from earlier this week of planting corn too. Oliver running gear. That's my fertilizer wagon. 1550 utility. I'm trying to remember what year that one is. I think it's a 66. Won't be long and I'll get to try that baby out. I'm going to plan on pulling that with that 66 diesel and my brand new tedder. Of course, the Oliver Square baler 720. A Gale round baler. Been using the 1600 on the fertilizer wagon. Usually I use this 1550 right here, but with the price of gas, I just can't bring myself to get a bunch right now. So even though diesel's expensive, I've got it here on the farm and more efficient, so I've been running the 1600 diesel on my fertilizer wagon. And a grain head for the combine. I don't think I ever thank you, Nick. I've got so much stuff sitting on top of this poor Oliver disc. It's kind of turned into a catch-all. I don't think I ever put that in a video yet. But it is almost new. Someone traded in, they traded it in. I can't remember what they bought new, but Dad took this Oliver disc on trade, and as soon as it got back here, he said, go put that out in the barn. Never went on the lot. All the scrapers, I mean, there's still white paint on the scraper. There's still black paint on the blades. It has not seen much use at all. I think it's about 10 foot if I'm. But yeah, I should quit doing that. Turn it into a catch-all. Gale feed grinder. I had that out a couple years back and spun it up and got everything working on it. And I'd like to grind some feed with it one of these days, but tires for restorations. I think it's a good thing I bought them when I did. Here there's getting to be some Firestones are getting hard to get. That makes me think. I have, let's see these. See what you guys think. I got these brand new. These are the front of they're BKTs for the front of the 1855. I couldn't find anything American made that wasn't a long bar short bar. I hate those more than I hate foreign tires. But I just recently bought, they're not here yet, but some Firestone 151 16926. And they appear to be really good shape from the picture. So I'm thinking about putting them on and either selling these or something. They would be matched up with the SATs here. They'd be basically, I don't know if I got any in here like that. Oh, they'd probably be like the front of the 2255 or the back of the combine here. I think that would look good. I'll know better once they get here. See what everybody thinks. Hopefully I'm still coming in good. 1964, 1800 front wheel assist. This was the last tractor Dad and I restored together. Dad died from Lou Gehrig's disease. And that winter when we were restoring this one, he was getting weak enough he couldn't even hold the paint gun up. And so this is the first tractor I ever painted. It's one of my favorites to drive. I don't drive it like I used to. It's got the long bar, short bar Goodyear Dynatorque 2s. I hate them. But when we got the tractor, it was dead. Had gotten water on top of a piston. So Dad picked it up very reasonable. Had 3 brand new Dynatorque 2s, and one of the back one was another brand. And just out of pure financial responsibility, I don't know. But we just got one more tire to match the other new ones. Went with the Dynatorque 2s, but they ride terrible. They vibrate. They wear fast. I can't believe how much wear these front ones already have on them. Other than that, we overhauled the engine, went through the front axle, went through the hydropower. Should have gone through the hydraulics. The pump's a little weak on it, but it gets stuff done. The 1900 A series. Detroit diesel 453 two-stroke. I need to fire that up. It's a good thing to keep your Detroits running. They, you know, your stick and things can go bad. So, you know, the best thing to do is just make some noise. Picked this one up from auction that Lyle and Helen Dumont had back in, I think it was 92 or 93. He got it out of Montana. It's a very low hour tractor, and I would say it's a... Oh yeah? Yeah, it did come from Charlotte. That must be Joe. 2255. I think these are basically the same tires that I just bought used, but they're pretty good. Yeah, all tractions. These are 14 926s. 1855's got 16 926s. And there is a height difference in them, so I can't just swap them out. Yeah, the water, let's see, that's got the 3150 and the water pump's leaking on it. I need to get around and get that fixed so I can play with it more. Been looking around and I don't know, I guess I just need to call the cat dealer up there in Lansing or Michigan Cat or something. Haven't had too much luck looking online finding a rebuilt water pump. I'd go for a kit. I don't mind rebuilding water pumps, as we've seen. This was originally a cab tractor, but I just like open station, and I've got a roll bar canopy to eventually put on it. So I got fender tanks to put on there. They're not original to this tractor. Some things my friend Mike Kelsom was pointing out. I knew some of it, but because he noticed, what was it? I think 73. They changed to this style of Don't Be Careless instead of the triangle shaped sticker. And the same one that's on the fender is has a yellow bar top and bottom. I believe this one's a 73. Pretty sure, yeah, because they switched to the 32.8 and 74 about halfway through the year, but I guess I could just look at the tag. Not that it says what's years on it, but I'm getting to where I might remember some of this stuff. Oh. Too dark and I can't use my flashlight while I'm on. It's a 73. This one belonged to a friend. He had an auction. He had a two-wheeler and a four-wheeler. And that was back before four-wheelers were quite as nuts as they are now. And I probably shouldn't tell this story, but it's good. I go to his auction, and the auctioneer, I think, tries to start the bidding at 10 grand. And of course, you know, don't go at first. And he keeps coming down and he comes down. He finally gets down to 4 grand, and I bid on it. Put my first bid in. I'm like, okay, it's gonna start going up from here. And it didn't. And it just sat there for the longest time. And I'm gonna have to write him a check to go with this because it's worth pouring 4 grand. I'm not gonna do this to my friend. Finally, someone else started bidding, and it came up, and I think I ended up at 8,500 altogether for it, which was a pretty good deal at that time. Now it's a steal, but yeah, for a moment there, I was almost feeling bad. If it had just been a consignment auction, then you can kind of walk away and not feel the guilt. But when it's someone you know, I just couldn't do that to them. So I'm actually glad someone else bid too, because I was gonna chuck in the difference. Oh, they were 146 horsepower on a 3150, and I think they went up 1 horsepower when they went to the 3208. even though there was quite a cubic inch difference. But that was an underpowered application for that V8. They were more about what the rest of the tractor could handle. That was PTO horsepower. So I think the literature said 146. Did Nebraska test, the one where they run like 2 hours steady, I think that was 147. Just looked it up recently. Of course, a lot of them turn more than that. Oh yeah, I should flip the levers over. My planter likes to settle. Actually, I think the planter's full. It's the remotes. Oh, let's go look at the 525. Someone tell me if I'm getting choppy or anything, because as I get farther in the barn, I probably lose signal. I would imagine. Oh yeah, I've heard about guys running 22s up over 200 horsepower, and everything seems to stay together. 525. My friend Alan actually bought this out in Oklahoma. Drove all the way out there, trucked it back with his pickup and gooseneck. God, I thought it was enough to truck it from his place to here. That thing way up there and high center of gravity on my trailer. The head was off, but it was doing a real good job. But I don't know what happened. Alan's son Phil was running it, and all of a sudden she started a knocking. So we were able to get her back here in the barn and parked it, and just haven't messed with it since. Yeah, it is in good shape. It was fun to run because it really made me appreciate the air conditioning of that one over there. At least your hydraulics on your white works good, nothing off. Yeah, Chrysler flathead in there. I've been thinking like a Oliver diesel sometime of some kind would be nice in there. Be easier to maintain in my opinion. A little more power, but wouldn't have to worry as much about heat, or not heat, but fuel going bad. It'd probably be the biggest thing. That and guzzling gas. Can't believe it took yeah, I'm hoping just a bearing. I just need to get it out of there and pop it open, and hopefully it didn't damage the crank or anything. 310, yeah. A 525, that would be cool. I've thought about that. I've been meaning to look up how many horsepower these Chryslers were or what they needed to run this combine, and a 310 might work. Shoot, a 283 or 265. But yes, it is a flathead. Down carburetor. You know, she's a straight old girl. Everything worked on it. Yeah, that's kind of what I've been thinking. 310, 283, 283, 284, whatever it takes. You know, like I was saying, everything worked on it. And first time I ran it, they must have, well, it was from Oklahoma, and they don't get the yields of wheat we get, because first thing I had to do, I thought, okay, this was a wheat country. I'm going to have to adjust the thing. And the sieves were really cranked down. I was getting a super clean sample, but half of it was coming back up the return elevator. Yeah, maybe that's what I'll have to do. I'm trying to think what I've got around for extra engines. I don't have any extra 310s around, but I probably could find one. It'd probably have to be turbocharged, wouldn't it? Then the guy would just have to adapt the bell housing. I know people. Or make a custom one or something. I guess that would be adapting it, wouldn't it? It's got the not hydrostatic, but it's got the variable speed drive. There's a variable speed pulley down there that's run by the one of those hydraulic levers. Let's just sit on it. Oh, yeah, it's turned into a catch-all too for cardboard. Trying to remember what it was. One was header, one was reel, and then the other one was ground speed. True. No, yeah, turbocharger. They take all the sound out. Replace it with a whistle. That could work. Pipe on it and let it lope when it dies. What was this button? There's no battery in it. Is that a horn? I don't remember. It's been quite a few years since we ran it. But yeah, Phil was running this one. I was running the Massey. We were having a good old time. And knock, knock, knock. Ejector seat. Yeah, you know, you hit a good bump without the cab. I got the oh, this is YouTube. This is the chute handle. Don't want to have to fill the swear jar. You hit a good bump, you grab the chute handle and you stay in place. All right, let's see if I can get out of here without tripping and falling. Planting corn, and the corn head's still on the combine, but I guess it's got to be somewhere. And kind of one piece of tin work got banged up from that axle snap. The other one basically got pulled off. I finished it off. Yeah. Not the best day ever. Yeah, there's some duct tape fixes right there at the bottom of the clean grain elevator. So it wasn't brand new, but it really seemed to do a good job. There is a couple of brothers north of Ionia that have a white 8800, I think, with that Perkins. That'd make a good swap. And that's a possibility. The 545, you could get the Perkins in. I'm not sure about the 535. Yeah, they did make a couple of 9320s, and they ended up getting converted in Massey 8560s. Would have been even cooler. They made one pull type version of this combine. What was that going to be called? I can't remember now. So I won't even speculate. But they were all set to make a pull type version of that 9320, and then things went south, and that's when they were selling the line to Massey, and Massey didn't pick that up. And supposedly it still sits up there near Brantford. The person that owns it somehow or another got a hold of it. Won't do anything with it, won't sell it. You know the story. I'm going to restore it someday. There's the muffler. I mean, the turbocharger, she ain't for sale. I'm gonna fix her up one day. That's right. Here's the old tires from my Cutlass. Used to have those ain't Kragers. What are they? Keystone Classics. I think that's the rim. And I found a good set of Oldsmobile Rally rims I put on it several years ago. But those were my high school rims right there. I was riding in style. wonder if my wife is watching. Seems like she would have commented by now. Put the phone away. There's the M&W seed I've been planting. That's what the bags look like. Field ready, yield ready. That's a Michigan-based company. They've got a good lineup of conventional corn. That's one of the things I've been liking about them. Eli, what'd you do? Just turn in? I just did show the combine. I know you've been asking about it. We'll go back just for you. There she is, the Oliver 525. I could try climbing up the backside here. I could fall and hurt myself. The head was up much higher. It's slowly working its way down to the ground. Here you go, Eli. In all of its open station glory. Showing the engine earlier. Variable speed, yes it is. 4-speed transmission with a variable drive. So it's not a hydrostatic, but it does yeah, the guy I think took good care of it, other than maybe oil change. That might be my downfall. Alan said he changed the oil when he got it and it was kind of sludgy, and I probably should have done another oil change a lot sooner. I wonder if his oil change loosened stuff up. That's a problem with some of these old ones. If they didn't run detergent oil and then you change the oil and put modern detergent oil in, it loosens up all the crud and you can plug up your oil pump. The hate is one of these and I love them. Plus, you're right. They just sound so darn good. Yes, they do. I guess, a lot of it's I grew up listening to 310s. Now look at that view. And they're snappy. I just love the sound of them. I mean, yes, they are notorious, but there's also a lot of them still out there working. Grain tank's empty. Yeah. I bet a 310 would. I actually have. Whoa. Just not today. Now that I think about it, I have a 310 short block. It is a non-cooler block that was a takeout from an 1855 that got the cooler block update. There really wasn't anything wrong with this one. The 2655, I went and looked at that auction. They've got some goodies there. But I guess, honestly, there are Olivers that are higher on my list than a 2655. I know a lot of people love them. But the Moline built ones, I don't have as much experience with them. I don't have the parts, and I'm sure there's people out there that can help me. Yeah. I'd love to hear that T running again. A cab on a combine, next thing you know, farmers will be squatting to pee. That's one guy somebody tried to sell him a cab. Yeah, I mean, that whole platform so you can pee from a higher distance. 310T and a 525. I'm not against it. Usually I'm an original guy, but I just like the idea of this being a diesel machine. Then I should find a corn head for it and see how much we could cram through there with some more horsepower under the hood. But just not having to feed it gasoline. Whew. Amazes me, like the 7600s and 7800s were gas V8s. And I don't know why it took so much longer for it to catch on in combines. Always wondered that. I am doing good. Hey, GM Dieselman. I'm going to restore that someday. Well, maybe burning dinosaurs, that'd be a great father-son project. Bring it over to your place and tell Dad to come over. We had a red 7300 with a Perkins when I was young. That is the earliest combine I remember us running here on the farm. Wow, $4,000. Have you seen enough of it yet, Eli? Kind of dark on this side, in case you haven't noticed. Oh, I guess the prop rod just latched down on that. Not like you're going to see a lot in this low light. What's the Massey? That is 8570. Yes, does not have a floating cutter bar, if that's what you mean. Yeah, just straight cut header. The Massey 8570 combine was actually developed by White. It was going to be the 9320, and White was in financial straits, and Massey Ferguson was wanting to get into the rotary combine market, and so White sold their entire combine line to Massey Ferguson, and they had made, like, I don't know, a handful, we'll call it that, but of 9320s. Had some out in the field. Everything got sold to Massey, and the 9320s became the 8560. Where'd my finger go? There it is. 8560. Then some years later, Massey upgraded, did some upgrades, went from the C or B. Yeah, the 8560 had the B series Cummins. The 8570 has the C series Cummins. That makes it a good machine. Lots of power at that level. I got to think the 8560s were a little underpowered with the B series in them. Good engine, but just seems like a little light for engine or combine that size. 354 Perkins, they're a good solid engine. They're not as good of a lugger as some of the others, but man, it's so they're a real solid engine. I think that Perkins engine put the 850 Oliver on the map as much as anything did. Made it a good all-around tractor. But that's the story of the Massey Combine. Yeah, marine applications. You look at that Perkins. I guess Ophelia's up in the other barn. All right, look at that. Can I see that Oliver header? Well, it's covered with cardboard, but we'll try to get up there. You look at that Perkins engine, that 354, and you can tell they were designing it to be compact. I mean, the camshaft turns the opposite direction of most engines, and that way they were able to tuck it in because the lifters work off the opposite side of the lobes from most of what you're used to. Yeah, there's not a lot of light over here, Eli. I'm trying to remember, is this a 12-footer? But just, yeah, everything's really compact on that 354, and hey, they could tuck it into boats and stuff because of that. I think that's part of the reason it was popular in marine applications. This is a 310. Of course, this is the indirect injected Lenovo style head, not the direct injected like the later 310s. Yeah, I've seen where people add on extensions for their air cleaner, and it probably would. And I've got enough room up here, I could add a couple of feet onto it and still pull it in the barn without having to worry about smacking it. So it's got talked about by the Cummins guys. Yeah, you know, comparing a 354, an early 354 to a Cummins B series that was developed like 20 years later, it's just not an apples to apples kind of thing. Hey, Chris, sorry I missed your live chat. I was working on getting my plow ready to go and tried it out a little before. Hey, I don't blame you there. I was planning on, and I might still try to get some kind of plow out just to do a little recreational tillage, but everything got such a late start here this spring with the rain hanging on that once it did open up, I was ready to go to the field and get things done. Here's another question for everybody. For the bridge crossing this fall, Alan and his son are taking their 77, well, the family 77 and 88. They're not technically there, it belonged to his brother. They're both wide fronts. So now I'm thinking I should drive the 66 across the bridge. I'd clean it up some more. But I was also thinking the 990 would be cool to take across the bridge. So what's everybody think? 66 diesel wide front or 990 with the Detroit diesel? '66, that's a tough one. All of them. Yeah. Yeah, that isn't a surprise. I'm definitely voting for the Detroit. There's not as many Detroits up there as I would think, but not the Screaming Demon. 990. Hey, Eddie. Yeah, we would have the three beauties. That's kind of what I was thinking about the 66. Both of theirs are painted up, but that wouldn't stop me. Hey, there's still room for more, but it's probably a bit of a haul for you. I was really hoping that 1855 would have gotten done this last winter. I probably was dreaming a little hard, but which one would use more fuel? Yeah, I was waiting for someone to say Herman. I've had a few people suggest that, and well, with Herman being 12 and a half feet wide, and they still leave the other 3 lanes of traffic open on the bridge when we cross, something tells me the bridge authority would not let me cross with Herman. And then we'd be over width on the coming way back because you have to truck them back across. You can't drive them both ways. So I'm going to say Herman's probably a no-go unless he gets neutered. Do any planting yet? Yeah. Just got in from planting. Past the halfway mark this afternoon. That's always a good feeling. Oh yeah, the 460 turning an overhead crane. Ugh. Yeah, too bad it's out in the dark. I'd walk out there and show you it, but it's I could grab a light. It still probably wouldn't show up the best. I'll have to get you some pictures of it. I was looking at the other day, and yours is missing a lot of parts, Eli. Yeah, Herman just wouldn't be Herman without the Terra tires. I mean, when we brought him from Iowa, hey Cosmo, when we brought him home from Iowa, I threw a set of 15.5 38s on him so he wouldn't be over width, and it didn't look right. Oh, what time is it getting to be, everybody? I'm surprised my phone's held up this good. 10:51. I know I said I was gonna end this, what, a half hour ago? Then we got talking Oliver tractors. God, I got 71 watching. That's more than before, but it's getting later. You know, guys are getting in from working. If you farm, or it was just a beautiful day to be outdoors. New as a 5. Oh, that was one thing I noticed, Eli. Someone added a 6th bottom on it. I was looking over your pictures of it, or your video of your walk around. No, I got talking Olivers isn't a bad thing. It's not a school night. That's true, Gary. Let's see. Oh yeah, I noticed those flex back plows could be a 4 bottom in the front, a 5 bottom, or a 4 with a 5th added on, and yours is a 5 with a 6th added on. And to add that 6th one on, they had to take out a lot of the rear hitch stuff. So that's, after watching your video a time or two again, I see why all the pieces are missing off from it once I counted bottoms. Yeah, it's not a school night. I'm also planning on getting up and doing this all again tomorrow. So I should probably go in and get cleaned up and call it a night. Winter project, yeah. It's a summer project. Some are going to get done and some aren't. My screen went dim. Is my battery getting low? No? Well, I know if I close those doors, it'll be the end of the video, because they'll cut my signal right off. Boy, it's still so nice out. Poor 19 still has some poo on the tires. I plan on having some magnets and stickers at the summer show. That's a magnet, but it's holding really good. I'm just going to leave it. All right. I keep saying that. I am going to call it a night, guys. I appreciate everybody watching. It's been fun. I'll have to try to do this again sooner. I think this is the first one in almost a year as far as a live one. So if you think you've missed one, you probably haven't. So once again, thanks everybody for watching, and we should see you on Sunday. I got something to put on there. Take care, everybody.